Though I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ, I experience some difficult times. Amen. Somebody said, did you hear what he just said? Even though he's a disciple of Jesus Christ, he experiences some difficult times. See, because if we don't have the right attitude, what we begin to wonder is, why am I following Christ and going through this stuff? Well, Paul says, check. Check the edge. You can go through it. He doesn't say it doesn't hurt. He said, but you'll be able to go through it. Are you still with me? Am I making sense? Am I helping somebody this morning? Because I want to help somebody this morning. I want to help somebody that's going through this morning. Let me that something. I'm going to stand down here for a minute. Maybe if I get closer. So he says, I know how to get along and to live in difficult times. And then he says, and I also know how to enjoy abundance and live in prosperity. So in other words, I don't really have any real highs, and I don't really have any real lows. Thank you, son. I don't really have any real lows. I've learned to be even keeled in whatever it is I'm going through. Amen. I don't get too excited when there's an extra check in the mail. And I don't get too depressed when there's no check in the mail. All right? I've learned that in whatever state I'm in, to be content. Amen. To be in a position and in a place where I'm not trusting the check. But I'm trusting the one who's able to bless me with a check or without a check. See, because I can't be a Christian just because everything's going well. And then turn in my Christian card because it's getting a little tough. You know, we say stuff like, I'm going to lay down my religion for a little bit. You need to get that out of your vocabulary.
Amen.
Because you can't afford to lay down your religion for 1 second. And the consequences are too great. So I know how to get along and live humbly in difficult times. I also know how to enjoy abundance and live in prosperity. And then he says, in any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret. He's still God, no matter what you do. What Paul realizes is it's not a matter of I accepted Jesus and now all this stuff is going on in my life and where is Jesus in my life? He realizes all this stuff is going on in his life because he does have a relationship with Jesus. Amen. And what the enemy tries to do to us is tries to put things in our way and in place that would be priority over Jesus so that we'll get rid of Jesus and grab a hold of the stuff. Amen. But Paul says there's nothing that the enemy can give me or do against me or do to me that's more important than my relationship with Christ. In other words, no matter what you do to me, my attitude about who Jesus is going to be the same. I'm still going to praise him. When you check your attitude, what you're checking for is, do I still have an attitude of praise? Do I still have an attitude of worship? Do I still have an attitude of surrender? Will I still lift him up while I'm going through? Or am I only going to lift him up because everything looks good? Paul said, listen, here's the deal. In any and every circumstance, when I was a young saint, I couldn't figure out why those old mothers got arthritis, right? Can't stand up straight, right? Musicians start playing, amen? They can't leap, they can't jump, but they get up and they kind of give you that soft shoe, right? And you think to yourself, that hurt, but it didn't seem to bother her. Amen. And she would go ahead and she would praise God anyway. Because when she checked her attitude, she found out that her attitude was an attitude of praise. And so even though this hurts, it's going to hurt anyway. So I might as well just go ahead and praise Him. See, when you check your attitude, what you're checking for is to see if the praise is still present. To see if the hallelujah is still there. To see if you're still willing to raise your hand in spite of what you're going through. To see if you're still willing to say, thank you. Paul said, I've learned the secret of facing life. There's some stuff, y'all, that we have experienced in life that when we look back at it, or even looking at it right now, we think to ourselves, I never thought I'd have to deal with this. That's right. I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt. I'm not saying that it's not real. But I'm saying the way to deal with it, the secret way to deal with it is to check your attitude of praise. To check yourself, and if nobody else will praise Him, I'm going to praise Him by myself. If nobody else going to lift Him up, I'm going to lift Him up by myself. Listen, if I can't sing because my voice is gone, I'm just going to mouth it. Because I'm just practicing for when my voice comes back, and I'm going to shout it out again. So I found this face in life. He says, whether well-fed or going hungry, whether having an abundance or being in need. And then I read this passage, taking it out of context, didn't necessarily read it within the flow of the verses that preceded it, but then he really allows us and really reveals to us the secret, because in verse 13 he says, I can do all things. Hallelujah. And he just got finished talking about how there's sometimes when he's without. And he just got finished talking about how there's sometimes that he's with. We know that right now he's in prison, right? I would be writing to you, Jackie, saying, can you get some bail money together for me? Because I need to get out of this place. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care what you got to sell, but I need you to get me out. He's not concerned that he's in prison. He's concerned about those that are free. You missed what I just said. See, when we're going through, it's all about us. It's all about what we're going through and how we're going through it. Does anybody care about me? But in the midst of him going through, because he has an attitude of praise, he's encouraging somebody else. He says to somebody else, in spite of what you're going through, you can still praise the Lord. Tap your neighbor, say, neighbor, did you hear what he just said? In spite of what you're going through, you can praise the Lord. I wish somebody just heard what I said right now. I wish somebody would just put into effect what I just said right now. I wish somebody would feel what I just expressed right now. In spite of what you're going through, you can praise the Lord. You can praise the Lord. You can praise the Lord. We've gotten to a place as Christians where we praise Him because we feel like it. That becomes a problem, because when you ain't feeling it, then you can't praise Him. But when you have an attitude of praise, and it's not dependent upon good times, it's dependent upon relationship. And here's my secret, I can do all things. Amplified says, which he has called me to do. Lord, I don't know why you called me to do this. With all this trouble I'm in now. Paul says, I learned the secret. I learned the secret that even when stuff comes up against me, I can still do all things which he's called me to do through him who strengthens and empowers me. And then the Amplified says, here's the reason why he strengthens and empowers you to fulfill his purpose.
Amen. 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 Praise God.
For some of us, it's all about our purpose. According to his purpose. One day, I was lost. But he sent somebody into my life to fulfill his purpose. I'm not saved today because of me. I'm saved because it was his purpose. Listen, I'm not perfect, but I'm saved because it was his purpose. I'm saved today because he looked down, and it wasn't that there was anything that I could do for him or give to him, but it was according to his purpose that he saved me. And once I began to realize that, then I began to give him praise. Then I became one of the crazy people that they try to make. Listen, if you're Pentecostal, if you're charismatic, if you shout, if you dance, if you clap your hands, if you stand up, if you jump, then there's something mentally wrong with you. I need the world to know I got all my faculties. There's nothing wrong with my mind. But I'm glad that my mind has been transformed and changed by living Savior. And I know that he's worthy to be praised. If I can stand up and clap because somebody ran over a goal line, I can stand up and clap because somebody saved my soul. I can stand up and clap because somebody crossed my place. I can stand up and clap because somebody was wounded for my transgression, bruised for my iniquity. The chastisement of his peace was upon him, and by his stripes. Oh, let the saved people shout right now. Come on, tell three people, I am saved. I am saved. I am saved. Yeah! Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Sit down for a minute. Sit down for a minute. Go ahead and make it personal. Go ahead. It's not because I told you. But Paul says, I can do all things through him who strengthens and empowers me. He says, I'm ready for anything and equal to anything through him who infuses me with inner strength and confident peace. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is that your situation might seem dim, and it's going to look that way if you depend on yourself. But in the midst of going through, if you would realize that because Christ is in you and He's the hope of glory, greater is He that's in you than he that's in the world. So though I'm suffering, I'm able to go through because the one that put my suffering upon Him is with me even right now. Songwriter said through the storm, through the rain, through sickness, through the pain, I can depend, I can depend, I can depend on God. Let me share these closing words with you. Check yourself. Turn your attention from you and what you're going through to Him, who is the one whose strength is the only ingredient that you need. Number two, it's not that things won't come your way to challenge you. But John Maxwell says this: I can't control what happens to me, but I can control how I respond. Number three, Paul couldn't control what happened to him either. But when he looked at Jesus, his response was that I know that it was only because Christ lives in me. Let me just share these last few verses with you as I go to my seat. In this prescription that Paul gives us as we're going through and as we're doing this attitude check, in Philippians 4 and 6 he says, be anxious for nothing. He didn't say that there wasn't going to be something other that would come and present the possibility of being anxious. He says, when you feel anxiousness coming, he said, know that it's there, but then let it go. Don't be anxious for anything. Because when you're anxious, what you said to God is, I don't trust you. Should have got a couple more emails. He says, be anxious for nothing. But he says, here's my secret. In everything, by prayer and supplication and with thanksgiving. Amen. Amen. Here's my secret. I'm going through. It looks jacked up. But I'm going to pray and I'm going to give thanks even though nothing changed. See, the practical folks didn't answer. Practical folks didn't respond. Because that don't make no sense. That doesn't make sense, Sister Beth. It doesn't make sense that while I'm going through, while I'm praying and nothing's changing, then I should start thanking Him for what I prayed for. Paul said, even though it hadn't changed, I prayed about it, I asked about it. It hasn't changed, but I'm going to thank Him anyhow. Paul, you must be crazy. You must be out of your mind to thank somebody for allowing you to go through persecution supplication, thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. And watch this. He says, when you stir all this stuff in, when you put all of this stuff in the midst, he says, the peace of God. That's on the inside, y'all. Peace of God. Still got an infection, but I got the peace of God. Still got the pain, but I got the peace of God. Still got a hitch in my giddy up, but I still have the peace of God. Doctor said I'm not quite sure what the outcome's gonna be, but I got the peace of God. It surpasses all understanding. It surpasses the ability to make sense out. It will guard your heart and your mind through Christ Jesus. And then he says, finally, brethren, while you're going through, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are noble, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there's any virtue, and if there's anything that's praiseworthy, think on these things. Praiseworthy. I'm going with Jesus all the way. You can't stop me. You can't turn me. I'm going with Jesus all the way. If you know what I'm talking about, give him a praise right now. Almost finished. Anything praiseworthy? Anything praiseworthy? I know you got some other stuff you can think about, but do you have anything that's praiseworthy? Do you have anything in your life that you can thank him for right now? If there's anything praiseworthy, while you're going through, that's what you want to meditate on. While you're going through, that's what you want to be thinking about. While you're going through, that's what you want to adjust your attitude and give you an attitude of praise. It's not that the other stuff aren't there, but my mind is not going to be where they are. My mind's going to be with Jesus. Come on, just give me about 2 minutes and give him your best praise. somebody say, listen, don't look at what I'm going through. Check out my praise. Check out my praise. Check out my praise. Listen, the next time somebody tries to serve you up a situation to change your attitude, the next time the enemy comes into your presence and tries to present you with something to change your attitude, your hand on a firm table or a firm chair and say, check please.